Howdy guys, welcome to Lad's Garage. Hang on, because this is going to be kind of all over the place. Our opening night is this coming week. It's coming Saturday. Today's Saturday, next Saturday, racing. Got it? Got it. First thing is first. I had somebody comment in the comment section asking about how to access the spark plugs on this engine. You have to forgive me here because my lighting, I need to do some. You might find it shocking, but my electrical work in here is kind of yoo-hoo. Either way, let's get back to here. So I had somebody ask me how to get to the spark plugs, to change the spark plugs on a Camaro street stock with this style of fender exit header. The ideal situation is to take the headers off and change them that way. And I get it. You might go tear up a gasket or so, you know, it doesn't hurt to have a couple extra header gaskets sitting around anyway, but that is the absolute easiest way to do it. But you might be at the track or whatever. There might be a different scenario where doing that's just not feasible. You don't have the extra gaskets to risk it. So the easiest way to do it, and I gotta find my tool. Spark plug that I run with my car requires a 13/16 socket to get them off. The easiest way to get in here is, there is no easy way. The best way that I've found is a combination of being a contortionist and extensions. So over here on the passenger side, this is the passenger side of the car. Number 2 and number 1, you know, straight across from each other. These are probably some of the easiest to get onto. Number 4 and number 3, they're a little more difficult, but you can still kind of get onto them fairly easy. These aren't the easiest, but you can still get on them. Sometimes you'll have to, you know, come in like so, and like I said, you gotta be kind of a contortionist. I use longer ratchets. I have a couple that are extendable, but I don't know where I got them sitting at right now. But this is a longer ratchet. Makes it a lot easier to get in on there. So you can get in on that one. Number 5 and number 6. You know, the third one back from the front on each side. Extensions. These are your friend here. Or just get up underneath the car. You can typically crawl up underneath the car and reach up and get to these two. And 3 and 2 are the same way. You can kind of get up to them from the bottom. Also, the back one, the back 2, 7 and 8, they are probably the most simplest, but once again, it's probably easier to get to them from the bottom. Long extensions. I think this is a 6-inch, and this is the longer one is a 10-inch. I can't remember for sure, but these are the 2 that I use to reach from the outside of the car without taking the headers off. Like I said, there's not really an easy way to do it. That's the quickest and easiest explanation is, you know, front 2, you reach from the front of the engine. Really 2 and 3 are probably the most difficult, and you can get to them from the front or the back, but a lot of it depends on how well you can flex. And like I said, longer ratchets make this job a lot easier on these cars. Now we're done with that explanation. Hopefully that helps somebody out. Some of the things after play day that I noticed that probably need a little attention looked at. I noticed that I had a little bit of a dent in the front of my radiator. I don't want to puncture another radiator. I just had to put this radiator in last year because something come up and hit it. So I went through and got kind of creative with some scrap laying around like I always do. So I used chicken wire up on my windshield area. You can see that in the in-car videos. So I had this chicken wire sitting around. So I decided, well, I can make a hole around or I can put this over the holes for the airflow to get into the radiator. And all I did was I took this screen, cut, figured out how big I need it, which I kind of goofed up a little bit. That's fine. Then I had some leftover plastic sitting around that I used for skirting one year, and I just trimmed it out, made about 1-inch sheets. I threw it on a bandsaw and just, cut fairly even sheets or strips. I made these. This is just scrap I had basically sitting around. Made something useful out of it. Hopefully it helps prevent rocks and big clots of dirt going in, hitting the radiator. Last year, after I put the new radiator in, towards the end of the year, I put this piece on to kind of help keep stuff from bouncing up and getting into the bottom of the radiator. Not a perfect design, but it helps. It's zip tied up, easy to take on and off. Just a few zip ties. Like I said, this was kind of a quick, easy design. Once again, more plastic that I had sitting around, made use out of it. I was at the track and somebody was asking me about my fan shroud. So this fan shroud is not actually for this radiator. It is actually a lot bigger than what this radiator is. My other radiator had a wider fin system on it compared to this one. So I just made my old fan shroud work. I mean, it looks like it's been through the shredder anyway, but it works. As long as it's working at the moment, I'm going to keep using it. I do need to get the right fan shroud for it, but that's at a later date. Also, after test and tune, I found I had some play here, which was mechanic era. So basically, at some point, somebody put a metal bushing in here, and there was play here. They had tack welded on. Well, long story short, the welds broke, so I re-welded this up. That's good and solid now. And another issue that I noticed whenever I was working on the car, even after I fixed that, I noticed that there was still play in the ball joints. So I did a little looking at it, and I realized I probably needed to put a washer or something under the castle nut to keep the spindle from going up and down on the actual ball joint, which was probably causing some inconsistencies on going around the track. So I put washers under that, not a big thing. Put the cotter key back in. Everything is good and tight now on the right front. Left front's pretty good. I haven't noticed anything major with it. I forced it to wiggle, but with any luck, we carry the left front anyway. Now is probably, I guess you could say, time to do something cosmetic / needed, because, well, if you look, they have what they call crush sleeves mounting the bumper to the frame of the car. And what this side is pretty good right here. So what this is set up for is to do exactly what this one did and crush in when you get hit on the back end. I just happen to have the right size piece of tubing to put back in over on the driver's side to fix that. This came from that. I shortened that up. That's my tire prep stand. Nothing high tech. I got it set up 3 bolts, probably really only need 2. Put a tire up there, grind it, groove it, sipe it, whatever I need to do. So I guess now I need to cut that guy off real quick and cut me off another piece and get it on there. I need to put on my safety squints. I'll let that cool down while I go cut that off the car. Now I finally got the old piece cut out, got the new piece wedged in there. Now we're gonna try to weld her up a little bit. What a pain in the butt. All right, we got her welded up. Had to use a ratchet strap to pull the bumper back enough to get a weld on it. We got her tight. Oh! Hey, my weld tail. How about it? The idea is on the back bumper you want a give point on the car. Front end, rear end, you want a give point. Front end, front bumper, that's your give point. Rear end, your back bumper. My previous cars have all had, for the most part, is like a sleeve system. You have a piece of pipe welded to the bumper and, either a bigger or smaller piece of pipe welded to the car. Well, you slide the pipe about halfway in where you still got like 3 to 4 inches of travel between the frame of the car and the bumper, or the frame of the car and the piece of pipe. And then you run like a 1/4 inch, like grade 5 bolt, something that's going to break fairly easy through the pipe, the tubing, to hold the bumper on. And what that does is if you get hit in the back end or back it into a wall, it allows your bumper to give versus tweaking the frame of the car. This is a great idea. It's a good, cheap idea, but it's a lot of work. I was going to change over to the style I like this year, but I just hadn't had the time to mess with it. So we're going to keep working with what we got. That's the biggest things I got going on with the car right now. We are going to spruce this up a little bit. This was I didn't want to run duct tape numbers, so I spray painted my numbers on to make it look decent, and I personally think it looks like crap. So I'm going to clean this up, and I got somebody that's going to hand letter this for me. So hopefully we got enough paint to do it. I bought the paint. Hopefully I got enough. But we're going to have hand lettered numbers this year. At least on the doors. We still might have duct tape up here. I don't know yet. But I'm not pulling the duct tape until I know I have enough paint to do both sides and the top. And then we might get creative with any leftover paint and do more on the car. I don't know. But that's about all I got for today. So we're going to go clean up and go get some food. Y'all stay safe. God bless you, and we'll catch you later.